Everyone, and welcome. I'll go ahead and call this meeting to order on September 15th, 2025, and ask the city clerk to please call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Present.
Commissioner Smith?
Here.
Commissioner Thomas?
Present.
Commissioner Wilson?
Present.
Mayor Bray?
Present. I'll ask Commissioner Smith to do the invocation and will remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Father, we thank you for your grace and goodness. We ask your help and attention to all the senseless violence and killings that have occurred in our nation this last week and for years. So please keep us in mind and help us solve that very big problem that we have. May your face continually shine upon us so that your ways may be known in our communities. Amen.
Amen.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Manager, are there any deletions to the agenda?
Mayor, none this evening.
All right, so we have two proclamations on the order for tonight. The first one is a proclamation for Hispanic Heritage Month, and we're going to do something a little different. You know, we have a great many people in this community, you know, that unfortunately I'm not one of them, that speak more than one language. And one of the languages that's most prevalent, of course, is Spanish. And so we are going to recognize Hispanic Heritage Month, and I am going to read the proclamation in English, and then I've asked our good friend Myrna Redfield to read it in Spanish. So, whereas National Hispanic Heritage Month is observed each year from September 15th to October 15th to recognize the histories, cultures, and contributions of Americans whose ancestors came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. And whereas the observation began in 1968 as Hispanic Heritage Week under President Lyndon B. Johnson and was expanded by President Ronald Reagan in 1988 to cover a 30-day period, becoming law on August 17, 1988. Whereas September 15th is significant as the anniversary of independence for the Latin American countries of Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Nicaragua, with Mexico, Chile, and Belize also celebrating their Independence Days during this period. And whereas Hispanic Americans have enriched every aspect of our national life, from science and education to business, labor, sports, the arts, and public service, and continue to strengthen the diverse fabric of the United States through hard work, cultural pride, and unwavering resilience. And whereas we honor the generations of Hispanic Americans who have worked tirelessly to build a better future, and we affirm our commitment to ensuring equal opportunity for all. Now, therefore, I, George P. Bray, Mayor of the City of Paducah, do hereby proclaim the September 15th, October 15th, 2025 as National Hispanic Heritage Month. Myrna?
Considerando que el Mes Nacional de la Herencia Hispana se observa cada año del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre para reconocer las historias, culturas y contribuciones de los estadounidenses cuyos antepasados vinieron de España, México, el Caribe, América Central y América del Sur. Y considerando que la observación comenzó en el 1968 como la Semana de la Herencia Hispana bajo el presidente Lyndon B. Johnson y fue ampliada por el presidente Ronald Reagan en 1988 para cubrir un periodo de 30 días, convirtiéndose en ley el 17 de agosto de 1988. Y considerando que el 15 de septiembre es significativo como el aniversario de la independencia de los países latinoamericanos de Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras y Nicaragua, con México, Chile y Belice también celebrando sus días de independencia durante este periodo, y considerando que los estadounidenses hispanos han enriquecido cada aspecto de nuestra vida nacional, desde la ciencia y la educación hasta los negocios, el trabajo, el deporte, las artes y el servicio público, y continúan fortaleciendo el diverso tejido de los Estados Unidos a través del trabajo arduo, el orgullo cultural y una resiliencia inquebrantable. Y considerando que honramos a las generaciones de estadounidenses hispanos que han trabajado incansablemente para construir un futuro mejor, y afirmamos nuestro compromiso de garantizar igualdad de oportunidades para todos. Ahora, por lo tanto, yo, George P. Bray, alcalde de la ciudad de Paducah, proclamo por la presente el 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre del 2225 como Mes Nacional de la Herencia Hispana.
Yes. Yes, I do. Who do I give this proclamation to? Who?
To the Daughters of the American Revolution.
No,
This is
that's the next one.
If not, that's okay.
Robert, you want to come up here and accept it on part of the Human Rights Commission?
And, yeah, and Mayor, we have some team members also, I think, that we're going to join in.
Oh, okay, great.
And I think if we can get the camera stand from our media partners to move it away from our photo backdrop, that's where they're going to do the photo. So, Mayor, in front of the backdrop, please.
Okay. All right. We're moving over here, everybody.
Yeah.
It's a photo op.
I like the new background.
Thanks so much.
Don't go anywhere. That's it. Just
Yes, you are.
quite the contrary. Okay, so one of the things that I'm able to do while you're here, Myrna, I wanted to be able to recognize you. We've had some discussions about this, but we try to recognize people in our community that are doing great things. And I don't know how many people know Myrna, but she is the CEO of Four Rivers Nuclear Partnership, which is one of the largest employers in our community. Not only do they provide wages for many, many people, but they also contribute in the community in so many ways. They sit on boards, they make contributions, they do so many things. And so Myrna herself was recognized in 2023 as one of the top 50 women leaders in the state of Kentucky by the Women We Admire organization. And so it gives me a lot of pleasure to officially make you a Duchess of Paducah. All right, now we get another picture. Thank you for helping out. Okay, and we have one more, we have a crowd here for this one. Now's your turn. So, I don't know if everybody's seen the beautiful display that we have downstairs of all the period costumes. And so we're going to, I'll read this proclamation and then ask you guys to come up. So, whereas September 17th, 2025 marks the 238th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention. And whereas the Constitution stands as the foundation of our nation's government, securing the blessings of liberty, justice, and the rule of law for every American. And whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize this magnificent document and the anniversary of its creation. And whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuance of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Whereas it is the duty of every citizen to protect and defend the Constitution, understand its principles, and encourage the study and appreciation of its significance. And now, therefore, I, George P. Bray, Mayor of the City of Paducah, do hereby proclaim September 17th to 23rd as official Constitution Week. Can we go over here and...
Yes, thank you. Because you were so busy.
Oh,
We'll make it.
I try not to miss you. I try to...
Oh, hello.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you, Catherine. How are you?
Are you giving everybody?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Yes, ma'am, always.
Yeah, thank you.
Always wanted a mini constitution.
Here, baby, Shirley's here because she's the barista. I'm just a district. We'll all let her.
It's a team sport.
1, 2, 3. One more.
Thank you.
Yes, very much.
And my granddaughter is excited. She's coming down to see you. They're bringing a class down here.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Okay, we have, thank you, everybody. We have two people wanting to make public comments, and the first one is Jonathan Garricky. And Mr. Garricky, you, welcome. And you have 3 minutes. You've been here before, so it's good to see you. It's good to see you again.
Thank you. This is a place to, and a time and a place to just express a public opinion, at least one public opinion, which is mine. So we have a tax increase proposal coming up here this evening. And last time I went to school, a kitchen for a sports park for $70,000, a sports park for $48 million, lighting for sports park $2 million, comes to about $51,271,000 that, in my opinion, doesn't need to be spent at all. And rather than spending money on things that are optional, I would suggest that the city cut back on expenses rather than raising taxes. My opinion. There's an additional $289,000 proposed just for the design of a Parks and Rec building. Is that really necessary? That's my question. And lastly, if I remember correctly, which I won't swear to because I'm getting older, we spent $880,000 on a pickleball court. How much revenue has that produced? Thank you.
John.
Thank you, sir. And Parker Jaco.
Nice to see you guys again. I'm back. I am here to speak on the same thing, speak on everyone's favorite topic, and taxes. I just want to be clear. I am not against taxes. I, like many people here, understand the importance of taxes, especially when it comes to keeping the city running and making sure we all pay our fair share. So I just want to preface that before you guys hear what I have to say. But this proposal is not just about paying a few extra dollars. In my opinion, it's about principle. Raising traditional property taxes may seem simple, but evidence shows that it hinders growth. A 2010 Lincoln Institute report found that cities relying heavily on property taxes often end up with underused lots and pockets of blight, all because development is discouraged. Let's be clear about this. Investment does not stop. It just moves to neighboring areas with lower rates. And I just want to also speak out to renters out there. Any property tax increase gives landlords who own multiple properties an easy excuse to raise rent. Not all landlords, but I know a few who might. Luckily, I have a fantastic landlord who does not do that. But yeah, so even if the increase is small, those costs get passed directly to tenants because the landlords hope and assume that you will not be educated on the details of this proposed levy. So raising property taxes doesn't just discourage investment, it also quietly drives up the costs of living for families who rent. That's why many communities across the country have rethought the way that they tax land. In Pennsylvania, towns similar to Paducah in size and economy adapted a split rate system. Land is taxed at a higher rate while buildings are taxed at a lower rate. This way, landowners who sit on vacant property pay more, while those who build and improve aren't penalized. It flips the incentive, rewarding investment instead of vacancy. The best example that I have is Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Starting in the late 1970s, they taxed land at about 6 times the rate of buildings. The results were dramatic. Vacant buildings dropped from over 4,000 to under 5,000 by 2000. Dropped from over 4,000 to under 500 by the year 2000. Businesses grew from fewer than 2,000 to nearly 9,000. More than 26,000 building permits were issued, representing about $2.6 billion in investment. Even crime and fire incidents fell as the city revived. And broader research shows cities adopting this model see dozens of new businesses appear within just a few years. I was going to bring some statistics, but my printer ran out of ink, so I can email that to you guys if you need. But overall, despite what this may seem, I don't claim to have all the answers, nor am I saying that Paducah needs to switch to a split tax rate system. But I do believe Paducah can learn from these examples. Raising property taxes in the old way may raise short-term revenue, but it risks long-term stagnation. We should be thinking about smarter, more proven alternatives that grow our tax base without punishing investment. And that's it. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jaco. Okay, from there, we're going to move to the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the Board of Commissioners, and we'll enact those by one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless one of our board members so requests, in which event the item will be removed.
Comments are supposed to be turned in before the beginning.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for being here. In which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. The city clerk will read the items recommended for approval unless somebody has one to pull off.
I did have one for G.
G, the Sprocket contract. Okay.
Got it? Okay, go ahead.
Approve minutes for the September 2nd, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting. Receive and file documents. Reappointment of Joseph Binberry to the Paducah Planning Commission. Said term shall expire August 31st, 2029. Reappointment of Ashley Johnson to the Paducah McCracken County Riverport Authority. Said term shall expire September 26th, 2029. Personnel actions. A municipal order authorizing the purchase of real property located at 1302 Tennessee Street, Paducah, McCracken County, Kentucky. A municipal order authorizing the engineering department to partner with the Purchase Area Development District to submit an application for the grant program for matching funds for the DRA 2025 application and authorizing the mayor to execute all documents related to same. A municipal order authorizing the mayor to execute a grant application and all documents necessary through the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet for a County Priority Projects Program grant in the amount not to exceed $500,000 for the Paducah Street Rehabilitation Program.
So moved.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye. Okay, we have five.
Do you want to do remove the Sprocket one first?
Okay.
Yep. I'm sorry.
Proposed motion of the Board of Commissioners to adopt a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Authorizing the Mayor to Execute a Contract with Sprocket Incorporated in the Amount of $100,000."
So moved.
Second.
Michelle?
Michelle? Michelle's the one that's been dealing with this and probably has the most, although we all have, but she has the most working knowledge of the agreement.
Is this a question to go over the agreement? Or
Yeah,
is that
did you have a specific
So
question?
basically, it's really not even to pinpoint on Sprocket, but just in general. Because when I first got in, I did ask questions about how we've been funding a lot of organizations, and Sprocket is one of them. And again, I support what they do and everything, but with that contract, that's been a ongoing yearly, every year, or is there going to be a limit to how we fund them, or is this like how we've partnered with them, or I guess, so I can get a refresher, because I remember asking, but also I'm sure people will see $100,000 on there and want to know, like, what are we spending the money on with them?
We go through this, we went through this in the budgeting process, so that was in the budget, this 100,000, and so a couple of years ago, I think we were at 75, and I think we actually increased their funding from 75 to 100, as I recall. And it's an evaluation of the work that they do in the community, essentially working with entrepreneurs. I think as a commission, we believe that incentivizing entrepreneurs, providing a place for entrepreneurs to start their businesses, in sort of an incubator style, is something that we believe in. We do every year go through an analysis with them about what companies have started, who's began to pay payroll taxes. We have more data that we could provide you, but it is a pretty intricate process that we go through. So to answer your question, is it something we do every year? They will be back talking with us before next fiscal year, and we will have the same decision to make.
I would add that we also, as a city, provided the funding for the build-out for Sprocket to have that home where they are now, because they are really the only one in our community focused solely on, and not just solely on it, but they are the ones focused on developing entrepreneurs and assisting them in all of their many programs. They're part also of a statewide program with the small business, it's not Small Business Development Council, but the small business. So they get funding from the state and from us and from multiple sources.
The county contributes as well.
The county does.
The county contributes, however, the city, as I recall, put in $800,000, I believe.
Closer to
It was
9.
closer to 900,000 to
For the
build it
build
out.
out. So the building, the Coke plant, their offices, the city, we are under, is it a 20-year?
It's a repayment. Michelle, do you have that? that repayment?
It's a forgivable loan.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
forgivable
portion of
loan.
it
A
is.
portion of it is based on them meeting certain metrics, and then they pay it off over a certain number of years, yes.
I'm sure they would be happy to go over all of their programming with you. They have
Yeah.
had multiple meetings. I've been there.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah, and
probably been in
I've
there,
met
and
with
you've
them,
seen all the
yeah.
entrepreneurs that are in there working.
Yeah, it was the first few months I was in, I did meet with them, and they kind of gave me a rundown. I do appreciate what they do. And like I said, it wasn't just to pinpoint them, but I just noticed, we do that for a lot of organizations, so I was curious about this one specifically, since it was here, so.
Yep.
But that's a good answer, I appreciate that.
And that payment is, for public, it is made in quarterly installment payments. It's not a lump sum also.
Any other questions?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. I'll ask the city clerk to read it, please. Have you read it? Did you read it? Okay. Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye. Okay, so now we're going to move to some municipal orders in relation to the sports park. And we've got we have four different municipal orders that are in relation to that. And I know that Jeff Cantor is here, along with Amy Clark, who's going to be able to talk about these. Do you want to read all of them?
They have to be read and then voted on individually.
Okay. Okay, so we'll read the first one and then ask Jeff and Amy to come up and talk about this one and
All of them.
and that way we can we can move on. Go ahead.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners adopt a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Adopting Contract Modification Number 3 to the Construction Contract with A&K Construction for the construction of the entry plaza at the Paducah Sports Park in an amount not to exceed $3 million, and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract modification and all other documents related to same."
So moved.
Second.
Hi, Amy.
Yeah, so in January of 2024, we approved several contracts for the construction of the sports park. Part of that budget, though, if you remember, we removed the championship field and the plaza because we had come in over budget with the renovations of the grandstand there. And so we wanted to go back with redesign. In January, we did come back to you with the championship field redesign. And we added $1.9 million roughly to the budget at that time. Now we're coming back to you for the addition of $3 million to do the entry plaza. So this is kind of a rendering of, it's changed a little bit, but this is the most recent rendering that we have. And this is what we'll be building with that $3 million. And it's in an amount not to exceed. The reason that we did that is because the contractor actually bid that over the $3 million. So we've done some cost reductions to get it down to this $3 million amount.
And also for the commissioners' understanding that when we're talking about $3 million, that is equal partnership with the county
Correct.
on that. And so it's not just this body, because the county has to vote as well, and the Sports Tourism Commission has already taken a vote on that. So when you hear that $3 million, that's not $3 million, that's split between the city and the county.
Oh, so our half is 1.5?
Yep.
Okay. I didn't understand that.
Right.
Okay. So, one of the questions that I asked you in an email, just to make sure that I think all the commission needs to be aware of what
Sure.
the total spend is.
Yeah.
Projected to be at this point.
Yeah, so we are sitting at, if this is approved, we're sitting at $70,563,017 for the total project. This is all inclusive. We don't have anything coming back before you unless there's another contract modification that's related to a change in the project.
And this figure is with all of these?
Correct, that's the total, yes.
Back to the payment process. That is part of the bonds are being paid for by the Sports Commission from the money they get from the hotel tax and the city and the county.
Right.
Part
Yes.
of our money we used from what was originally put in for the wellness center
The 2020 bond, yes.
and from COVID funds as well.
Right. Did we
The
not
the
take
20,
that
no,
part of
the 2020 bond was set aside at $12.5 million of that $20 million that was bonded at that for this project. And then this body, as did the county, took out additional bond to make up the difference on
Okay.
that. But you're correct, Commissioner. The bonds that were issued, first dollars in, come back from the hotel revenue tax that's set up for the Sports Tourism Commission, and then to make those payments, and then any shortfall that the city and the county would have to make up on that.
You know, this is a project that the community has been very positive overall about, you know, from the get-go, from the very beginning. However, you know, there have been some significant increases in construction costs, you know, brought on by COVID, and we experienced the same thing with the Riverfront Development Project.
Everything, really.
You know, everything has gone up, and so, you know, we're committed to this project. We've got sports teams already scheduled in the spring of 2026, already scheduled to be here, and we believe that it's going to drive a lot more growth for this community, a lot more hotel rooms, and that there is a lot of upside. You know, that can be debated by a lot of people, but this is a project that this community on the whole has been very positive for, you know, for a significant amount of time, so.
So this is what you will see when you're walking in from the main entrance,
Correct.
is this, so it's,
Yep, so where the
grandstands
where
were
the
that we
pavilion
took
is
down.
essentially where the grandstand is. So when you walk in, you'll see this, and then the grassy areas there are actually a 6-foot berm for seating, and so you have that elevated seating on the championship field. There's going to be plaza area here, food trucks, the ability to host food trucks, things like that. So
I guess one more thing I would mention is that there was a discussion on the fiscal court side for a period of time about retaining the grandstand, you know, and I think by raising the grandstand and doing this, I don't know what the exact amount of money is, but we saved a significant amount of money.
yeah, the original proposal came in at around 11 million to renovate that space. Of course, that included the championship field as well. But by doing this, we're down to around the $5 million mark.
Yep. And in the contract modifications, there's different contract modifications, just so maybe we can talk, but they're all going to have to be read separately and voted on separately. But one of them is for sports lighting, one of them is for turf, one of them's for the construction of the entry plaza.
Yep.
And
The other one's for Avanti Solutions. It's the restaurant, the
Okay.
concessionaire.
Okay.
So the Avanti and the Sprint Turf and the Musco contracts are all related to the $73-day extension that we already gave A&K. We're just going back and giving those contractors the same extension. So we still have an opening date of March 1st. And then there's also some savings where we've been able to do some reductions. For the A&K contract, I believe it's about $420,000. And basically what we did is we pulled items that they were going to purchase in their contract out, and we direct purchased those to save the money on the taxes and the overhead. And so we're doing that where possible to try to get as much savings as possible.
Any other questions? I do want to recognize Steve Irvin is with us tonight. He's actually been the project manager for this. I want to thank you for all your hard work on this, Steve. And he's also our new deputy judge executive, so congratulations on that. Okay. Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye. Can I ask you to read the second one?
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners adopt a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Adopting Contract Modification Number 2 to the Contract with Sprint Turf LLC for the Paducah Sports Park Project to extend the contract by 73 days and to approve a deduction in the contract price of $129,992.49 and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract modification and all other documents related to same."
So moved.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye. Read the next one.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners adopt a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Adopting Contract Modification Number 1 to the contract with Avanti Solutions for the Paducah Sports Park project to extend the contract by 73 days, reduce the contract price by $6,088.42, and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract modification and all other documents related to same."
So moved.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye. And please read the last one.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners adopt a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Adopting Contract Modification Number 2 to the contract with Musco Sports Lighting for the Paducah Sports Park project to extend the contract by 73 days and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract modification and all other documents related to same."
So moved.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye. Thank you, Jeff, for coming. Appreciate it. Sorry, we didn't mean to waste your time. You were there for backup. Okay, I will ask the clerk, please, to read the next municipal order.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners adopt a municipal order entitled, "A Municipal Order Approving a Contract with PFGW Architects for Design and Construction Administrative Services for a Maintenance Building for the Parks and Recreation Department in the amount of $289,500, and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract and all other documents related to same."
So moved.
Second.
Amy?
So this is approving a contract for design services for the new maintenance building that we hope to put in Noble Park. This will allow the Parks Department to completely vacate the H.C. Mathis building location. And we did have three bidders on this project. PFGW was the best evaluated bid and also the lowest bid. So we recommend moving forward with the contract.
It says,
Who- Excuse me.
well, it says construction administrative services too, so is it both?
Yes.
Not only just the design, but
Correct.
overseeing the construction as
Yes.
well?
And this amount covers their construction administration as well as a year warranty after construction.
And has the location been determined for
It has
sure?
not. We
This will be
do
part
have
of
site
it?
selection as part of the process.
Okay, so they'll have to go through all of that as well.
Yes.
We have looked at a couple of sites in Nova Park, one being the back area towards the dog park at the end. It's tucked out of the way there back behind the ball fields as you go back on that drive, that there's some opportunity back there and would be, we think, probably the least disruptive in tree canopy and that type of thing in the park as well. So, but that is one of the primary areas we were looking at.
And I guess to remind all of us, a lot of the park services that would go into this building are in the old,
The old school there at
Yeah,
AC
yeah.
Mathis.
they're on Joe Clifton Drive.
H.C.
Mathis.
Mathis.
H.C.
Yep.
Mathis, sorry.
Yep.
Yep.
And so, that is an aging building that has a great deal of expense involved in it. And the senior center is in one part of it, and they have selected a new building that they're going to be moving into whenever they can get it ready. So eventually, we're going to be getting out of a very old, dilapidated, expensive building, into something that will be more efficient.
Yes,
And that's going to require an upfront investment, but it's something that will, keep us, our parks equipment and, administrative services. And what are all the things that are going to go in there?
It's just going to be our maintenance division. So our maintenance staff plus all of the under roof storage that we need for equipment. We have roughly 10,000 square feet right now at the H.C. Mathis building, so that's what we'd be looking to relocate.
Isn't there some sort of nuance as far as the H.C. Mathis building? Does it still owned by the state, or do we own that? Or if we vacate it, does it go back to the state, or am I just imagining all that?
Potentially. I think it's federally owned, and as long as we have the senior center and recreation in it, then we
Okay.
can maintain it. So once that Once that happens, they may take it back. I don't know if they will or not.
Yeah,
Probably won't
yeah.
want
You're correct.
That's what we
The
want.
way it was, the way it came into the possession, similar to what we have for where Oscar Cross is located.
okay.
The Department of Education had owned that building, and so there was some requirements to be able to use that facility, as Amy mentioned. And so once it's totally vacated and not used to meet those, then we would have a conversation with the Department of Education about the next steps.
You know, and just, again, to remind us, I mean, we looked at a lot of buildings. You know, we've gone through an analysis really for the last couple of years, we knew we had to get out of this building. And so we're trying to make, you know, the best decision we can for the long term.
Sure.
It's
And
got
we've-
no insulation, right? It's got no, right?
It's very
Single
little.
pane windows.
It rains inside. Like, there's a lot of things. We've already relocated our admin and our recreation team, so this would be the last piece of relocation.
Now, the new building, will anything besides will there be any will there be offices there?
Yeah, we'll have some managers, some supervisor offices there. We'll also have a break room, probably showers, lockers, things like that for
Yeah.
all of our team.
And remind us again, how many people are on your team?
We have 28 full-time, 18 are in the maintenance division.
Okay. Okay, I'll ask our city clerk to please call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you. Okay, we have one ordinance to adopt tonight, and that's our tax levy. And I'll ask the city clerk to please read it.
I'll propose motion that the Board of Commissioners adopt an ordinance entitled, an ordinance setting the levies and rates of taxation on all property in the City of Paducah, Kentucky, subject to the taxation for municipal purposes and for school purposes for the period from July 1, 2025 through June 30th, 2026, with the purposes of said taxes hereunder defined. Purpose and rate per $100. General fund of the city, real property at a rate of 0.271 per $100. Personal property except inventory at .356 per $100. Motor vehicles and watercraft at .39 per $100. School purposes, Paducah Junior College, real estate at .014 per $100. Personal property except inventory at .014 per $100. Motor vehicles and watercraft at .031 per $100. The City of Paducah shall collect the following taxes for the Board of Education, Paducah Independent School District, real property at .882 per $100. Personal property, including inventory, at .882 per $100. Property taxes levied herein shall be due and payable in the following manner. In the case of tax bills which reflect an amount due of less than $2,000, the payment shall be due on November 1st, 2025, and shall be payable without penalty and interest until November 30th, 2025. In the case of all other tax bills, payment shall be in accordance with the following provisions. The first half payment shall be due on November 1, 2025, and shall be payable without penalty and interest until November 30th, 2025. The second half payment shall be due on February 1, 2026, and shall be payable without penalty and interest until February 28, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Audra, would you come up and I'll just see if any commissioners have any questions for Audra. I mean, we went over this a couple of weeks ago, and there's been some people come and make comments, so I just want to make sure that if any of our commissioners have questions, that Audra's here to answer them.
I guess for the public's sake, could you tell us the difference it would make between not changing that property tax to what it is currently?
If we were to take what's called the compensating rate, that would be a difference of around $257,000 for this year.
Any other questions? Okay, I'll ask the city clerk to please call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Before I cast a vote, may I just say
Please.
one thing? You know, when I get the opportunity to pray here at the commission meetings, one of the things that I always say somewhere in the prayer is that we make decisions that will benefit the masses. and not just a few. And from looking at all of what we've looked at the last week or so and hearing the information that you've given us, I would just simply say that a yes vote from me would be one of those decisions that will benefit the masses in the days ahead. So I say yes, yay, yes, aye.
Yeah.
Commissioner Smith?
I say aye, and given our costs have gone up so much, particularly asphalt, those kind of things, that I'm good with it.
And I guess for me, my decision is based off the number of people that have reached out and I've talked to, rich or not rich, and just all walks of life. And, being an elected representative, I can't make a decision without the voices of the people being heard. So with that, I vote no.
Did you vote?
Haven't.
Okay.
She hadn't called her for it.
Commissioner Wilson?
I thank you for your comments. I feel like some of the most important responsibilities for us is passing a budget, and we do that to meet our strategic plans that we met multiple days over. We met multiple days over the budget. It's our job to protect the city as a whole and the citizens. And I also have been out and about to talk to the people, and I think people understand that our own expenses have gone up. It's a small amount, and so I vote aye.
Okay, so I'm just going to say, before I cast my vote, that I was elected, I'm in my 5th year as mayor, and I come from a business background, and I believe that was a big part of why I was elected, is because people wanted leadership that was making practical decisions that, maybe to quote Commissioner Henderson, benefit the masses rather than smaller groups of people. As a leader, and all of us as leaders up here have to balance the difference in moving this community, continue to moving this community forward, and making sure that we've got, a budget for fire, police, and new roads, sidewalks, all the things that people want. And I would just say, we can't shrink ourselves to greatness, and so I vote aye. Okay, we have 2 ordinances to introduce tonight, and I will ask our city clerk to read the first one.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, an ordinance granting a non-exclusive franchise to E. Ritter Communications LLC to operate and maintain a cable system within the corporate limits of the City of Paducah, Kentucky, pursuant to the terms and provisions of the Paducah Ordinance for Regulation of Cable Communications, and approving and authorizing the mayor to execute the franchise agreement between the City of Paducah, Kentucky and E. Ritter Communications LLC. This ordinance is summarized as follows. This ordinance authorizes the mayor to execute a termination of telecommunications franchise agreement and a non-exclusive cable franchise agreement between the City of Paducah and E. Ritter Communications LLC. Said cable franchise agreement shall be for a term of 10 years and shall be in accordance with the terms and provisions of Chapter 22, Cable Communications of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Paducah, Kentucky.
So moved.
Second.
City clerk, can you tell us about this?
Absolutely. So a few weeks ago, you'll remember we had a public hearing related to Ritter Communications, changing from a telecommunications provider in the city to a cable provider in the city. We have a chapter of our Code of Ordinances, Chapter 22, that sets out the terms in which we can enter into a franchise agreement with a cable communications provider. So we went through the bid process. They were the only bidder on that. They have shown that they are capable of providing the cable service. So this would be an introduction of an ordinance that will approve an agreement to enter into a cable franchise. It'll be a 10-year non-exclusive cable franchise with them, and it also eliminates the telecommunications franchise that they were previously in. Just like we have with our current cable provider, they will be fully under the cable franchise. So this also includes access to PEG channels. They've made a commitment to that as well. So this is the first reading of that. And we also have Katie Hall here with us tonight. She is the Construction Communications and IA Manager for Ritter Communications. And can
Welcome.
answer any questions
Thank
as
you.
well.
Yeah, if you'll have any questions that I can help with, we're really excited to be in our second first reading.
I'm good.
What's the timeline for everything that you're doing? Just remind us what the timeline is.
Yes, so currently we have business services in Paducah and McCracken County already. We finished our business build out a few months ago. That went really well. We actually turned up our first residential customers this week. So last Thursday, we had all of our services ready for 4 different serving areas. So we will be able to serve our first customers in Paducah this week. We have dates set up for install, so we're really excited.
Any questions from anyone?
And we'll say with that, we are still operating under the previous agreement. So we have our internet services ready for residents now. As soon as we have the telecommunications agreement in place, we will be able to offer those television services as well.
Okay. Well, you're a couple of weeks away.
We're getting close.
All right, thank you very much for
Thank you.
being here. And we have one more ordinance to introduce tonight.
A proposed motion that the Board of Commissioners introduce an ordinance entitled, an ordinance repealing and replacing Article 6, Urban Renewal and Community Development Agency of Chapter 35, Community Planning and Development of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Paducah, Kentucky. This ordinance is summarized as follows. This ordinance repeals and replaces Article 6, Urban Renewal and Community Development Agency of Chapter 35, Community Planning and Development of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Paducah, Kentucky, to establish the Urban Renewal and Community Development Agency separately from the Paducah Planning Commission and to set the powers, authority, composition, terms, and meetings of said agency.
So moved.
Second.
Good evening. It's pretty straightforward. This is just another step in the Southside Plan. If you'll notice by what you have in front of you, it was first established, URCDA was first established by resolution in Paducah here in 1960, and it has been in existence ever since that time. It was highly utilized during Lower Town and Fountain Avenue and those neighborhood revitalization plans. Since that time, we didn't have as many properties, things went a little dormant, so it became a subcommittee, if you will, of the Planning Commission. But now we're expecting things to pick up, business to pick up just a little bit as we start to move forward on the south side. So we're asking to separate it again, repopulate it, and it'll just pick up like it did before.
So, like it did before. So, educate us, for those who weren't here before. And so, when we populate the URCDA board, what decisions will be before them?
A prime example would be that we have a piece of property that is on the available property list in the program area. And we will post it and open for bids on that property. And those bids will be submitted and URCDA will make the decision about what's acceptable. They'll have a score sheet. They'll go through all of those and they will award they'll award those properties along with the proposals and oftentimes the incentives that go with them as well. It is a pretty specialized group of individuals that will come back to you with names, but most of them have experience in the planning world in some shape, form, or fashion.
So this really won't add any extra red tape? It would seem like having a board here coming back to that would add some more to it. So it won't do that?
It won't do that. This one will function separately. They'll meet and they will strictly have an agenda that is tied to that property and it won't have a lot of other red tape. If we don't have a proposal or something for them to look at, they won't meet that month.
Okay.
But we'll try to get things moving in a fast track way.
Thank you.
Sure, absolutely. Anyone else questions?
Any other questions? I think I'm good.
Okay,
All right.
thank you all.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Carol.
Okay, the final item on the agenda for tonight is a discussion of a tree voucher program. And so I'll tee it up for you, Amy, if you don't mind.
Thank you.
So from time to time, there's a lot of discussion about tree canopy in the city of Paducah. You know, Noble Park, there's discussion about our tree canopy at Noble Park. There's discussion about developers taking out trees. There were trees taken out, you know, as we built the new sports park. There was a lot of discussion about that. And I think the commission wants to move to make trees available to our citizens in as economical manner as we possibly can, and encourage people to plant trees. And so with that, I'll let you talk about more of the details.
Perfect. So if you have any questions, please feel free to stop me. I basically kind of put together a presentation on what we're going to do and how we're going to implement it. So, of course, I know this is kind of high level, but feel free to stop me because I know we haven't done this in a while, so there might be a lot of questions.
We're making it up as we go along.
We are. Luckily, we have done this before, so I did have some foundation. So we met a couple of months ago to talk about this, and we came up with some goals. And so primarily, our goal is to replenish the tree canopy. We've lost a lot of trees due to storm damage, harsh winters over the last several years. In Noble Park, I think we've lost 8 just in this year. So we're losing them quickly. We have a lot of aging trees. So our goal is to replenish the tree canopy. We want to educate and inform the public on benefits of planting trees in their landscape. We want to establish partnerships with local businesses. We want to encourage private property owners to plant replacement trees on their property. And we want to remove barriers that may exist to keep people from being able to do that. So we have created some eligibility guidelines. It's pretty simple. You have to live in the city. Well, let me change that. You don't have to live in the city, but the property that you're planting the tree on has to be in the city. We're, of course, going to have an application process. 1 voucher will be issued per applicant and only 1 applicant per household, if that makes sense. So me and my husband can't both apply for a voucher. We have a 1-page application that people will fill out and turn that into the Parks Department. We will have a review just to make sure that they've filled out the application. We kind of know where they're wanting to plant the tree. I'm not going to tell them where they can plant the tree, but there is ordinances and guidelines that they will have to follow. So we just want to make sure that they're compliant with all of the eligibility guidelines. We'll award vouchers. The vouchers are going to be in the amount of $250. The last time we did this program, vouchers were valued at $25. That's how much trees have gone up over the last 10 years. We did work with a couple of local nurseries, and they're, based on the specs that we gave them, they are confident that people will be able to purchase trees between the $150 and $250 mark. So we went ahead and went with the $250 on the voucher just so that people would have options. And then the vouchers are going to be available until funds are depleted. We have $150,000 budgeted for this. We're going to roll this out and do a spring planting, and if we still have vouchers left and money left, we'll do a fall planting next year. And then, of course, we are all about tracking, so we're going to make sure we keep people's information. Parks and Rec has a registration platform, and so basically we're going to register our applicants just like we would a program, and then, well, I'll get to that in a minute. We'll track. So for implementation, they'll fill out the application, they'll turn it in, we'll review, we'll issue the vouchers. They work with the nursery. We do have 2 nurseries on board, James Sanders and Edwards Nursery. They'll work with the nursery directly to pick out their tree. It does have to be off the city's approved list. And then they can work with the nursery for delivery. Both nurseries do offer delivery services. James Sanders offers installation. So if somebody needs help with installation of the tree, that they can work with James Sanders on that. Those costs are not covered under the voucher. So those would be in addition to what they get for the voucher. And then Tree Board is on board for inspecting to make sure that the trees were planted appropriately in the right space for the height of the tree, full grown, things like that. On the reporting piece, we're working with the technology department to create a mapping system that will basically show us where trees were planted during the program. So this will allow us to be able to go in and just see how much we improved the canopy. The nursery retailer is going to hold on to the vouchers, so once they buy their tree, they can't get their voucher back. And then they're going to send those to us with an invoice, and so then we'll pay the nurseries directly. So next steps, what we're planning is November 1st through the 15th, we're going to do a citywide push out. This will be social media, website will be updated. We'll do a citywide mailer and just to advertise the program. November 15th through January 9th, we'll take applications. Again, this is in the Parks Department. And they can either come in and do it, we can mail them one, they can send it in email, fax. We're gonna make it as easy as possible. And then January 10th through the 31st, we'll do a review and approval process. And then the first vouchers will be issued on February 1st. And we will mail those out, or we will contact people and they can come pick them up. The nurseries are going to have trees in their inventory that meet the specifications. People will be able to go take their vouchers as soon as they get them and purchase their trees. The best time to plant is like mid-February to mid-April in the spring. You can plant all year long. It's just the best is before things start heating up. So, but they'll have trees in stock that people can purchase, and then if not, they can order. So we'll be ready for them.
Hey, Amy, probably most people will want to know about what size tree will that be for that?
Yes, so the specifications, I'm glad I brought this paper because I knew that would get asked. So we're doing type 1 and 2 shade trees. So this is not ornamentals, this is not your crepe myrtles, this is not your dogwoods. These are shade trees, we want canopy trees. So they have to be 1-inch caliper. And they, depending on the type of tree, they can be anywhere between 5 feet and 11 feet tall. That's the tree you purchase. So that's why we have that 250 mark, because it does get us those larger trees. A lot of people plant saplings, which is great. It's easier to get them to grow when they're smaller, but we wanted to get some fast growers, something that's established and easy to take care of. So we went ahead and went with the 1-inch caliper. And this is like oaks, maples, birch. So there's a lot of variety that they can get. Any other questions?
Questions?
And I guess what you said, like 5 to 11 feet, so does that include transporting the trees, or is that on your own, the voucher I meant?
Yeah, so the voucher is just for the purchase price of the tree. If they need it delivered, both the nurseries can do that, but there will be additional fees that the customer would have to pay.
It's really interesting to see how this works, because you go through the city and you just see these areas that there's just sunlight on the streets, and the prettier streets are the shaded streets. So I think it'll help a lot of people improve their property values. And where you see there's no shade, just sun glaring, and you look in people's yard and you'd see like divots where there used to be a big tree at one time. So.
Yeah. A lot of people take them out. They're afraid of them falling on houses and sheds and things like that. But they do really help with your energy costs because they shade your house. So.
And just beautiful.
Yeah.
Really. So,
Now, if we do the math, $250 a tree, how many households is that?
So that's 560. So we're giving the nurseries a little bit of flexibility. So if I get a voucher and I go in and I buy 2 trees, say one's $100 or $125 and one's $150, I can technically buy 2 trees with my $250 voucher.
Oh.
I just have to pay the difference. So we don't want to limit people if they have room and they want to plant trees.
Okay.
We definitely want to encourage that. So we're kind of letting the nurseries manage that.
Now, I know this next statement's going to drive our city manager crazy, but the best thing that could happen to us is that 1,000 households, really want to plant trees. I mean, because we're trying to encourage people to think about tree canopy and improve the landscape, and take some ownership, in their yards and, of course, in the city. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how it all shakes out. We're going to advertise it social media.
Yes.
But I certainly hope that as many people as possible take advantage of this.
Yes.
No matter where you live in the city of Paducah.
And we did talk today about residential versus commercial. Originally, I had thought we would do both, but I think we focus on residential first, and then if we get to where we have demand for commercial, then we look at that as well.
Cool. Who can be available, if anyone, to help that resident owner figure out where a good place would be on their property?
So the tree board would be very
The tree
valuable.
board, okay.
And we're happy to do that when we get the applications. If there's questions about that, we can look at the ordinance and see what's proper, and then we can look at their property, because site visits will be part of the review process.
Thank you very much for your
Sure.
work on this, Amy.
Yeah, no
Thanks,
problem.
Amy.
It's been a long time in the making, so.
And Mayor, to your point, that hopefully this program does take root. And during the spring planting, and if we have that, it'd be a great problem to have, and we can factor that in our budget discussions next year.
You've been practicing that all day, haven't you?
You've always got an answer. He's always got an answer.
I just beat Commissioner Smith to it.
That's good.
Okay, that's all we have on for the agenda. Any comments, city manager, any
I think I
comments?
just used my comment time.
Do any of our commissioners have comments?
No, I don't.
I don't.
Okay, well, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Henderson?
Aye.
Commissioner Smith?
Aye.
Commissioner Thomas?
Aye.
Commissioner Wilson?
Aye.
Mayor Bray?
Aye.